We're talking about the iPhone Ultra, Apple's long-rumored foldable iPhone, and new reports are confirming two major points. First, the iPhone Ultra will almost certainly be Apple's most expensive iPhone ever, with prices that could climb as high as $2,500. Second, while it's expected to be announced alongside the iPhone 18 Pro lineup in September, it will most likely reach stores weeks or even months later. On top of that, Apple is reportedly preparing higher prices for the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max, while delaying the more affordable iPhone 18 models until early 2027. So if you're planning your next upgrade, the timing and pricing of Apple's new iPhone lineup are about to look very different from what you're used to. Let's break down what's happening with the delayed iPhone Ultra launch, the higher iPhone 18 Pro prices, and Apple's new staggered release strategy. Apple is expected to hold its traditional September iPhone event, where it will introduce three headline devices: the iPhone 18 Pro, the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and the foldable iPhone Ultra. All three will share the stage in the same keynote, but behind the scenes they're not all equally ready. According to supply chain sources, the iPhone 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max have already entered mass production. Their designs are mostly finalized, the manufacturing lines are up and running, and Apple is building stock ahead of launch. Externally, these Pro models aren't expected to change dramatically from the current generation, which is part of why production is running smoothly. The iPhone Ultra, however, is on a different path. Instead of full-scale mass production, it's still in the production testing phase. That means Apple and its partners are fine-tuning the manufacturing process, validating quality, and ironing out issues before they can ramp up to millions of units. Even though Apple is reportedly pushing suppliers to move faster, insiders don't believe the Ultra will be ready in time for a typical announce now, ship next week cycle. If this sounds familiar, it should. This strategy mirrors what Apple did in 2017 with the iPhone X. Back then, Apple announced the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and iPhone X at the same event. The 8 and 8 Plus shipped in September as usual, but the iPhone X, with its more advanced OLED display and Face ID system, didn't arrive in stores until November. This time around, expect something similar. The iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max should be available about a week after Apple's September keynote, in line with the usual pattern. The iPhone Ultra will likely be announced at the same event, but won't go on sale until several weeks or possibly a couple of months later, depending on how quickly Apple can complete production testing and ramp up volume. The main reason for the delay is the complexity of the foldable design. The Ultra's folding display and hinge system are far more challenging to manufacture than the flat panels and rigid frames used in standard iPhones. Foldable hinges need to survive hundreds of thousands of folds, protect the display from dust and debris, and still feel smooth, solid, and premium. That's a difficult engineering problem at the best of times, and Apple is under enormous pressure to get it right on the first try. Recent reports suggest that Apple has resolved most of the major technical hurdles related to the hinge mechanism, which has been one of the most critical and time-consuming components. Mass production of the foldable panel and hinge is expected to begin in late July, which is significantly later than the schedule for the iPhone 18 Pro line. That timing matches what multiple independent sources have reported. The Pro models are ahead and on track, while the Ultra is behind due to its more advanced design. The other big story is price. The iPhone Ultra isn't just a new form factor. It's also set to redefine the top end of the iPhone price range. According to supply chain sources, the component costs for the iPhone Ultra are dramatically higher than those of the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. The foldable display, custom hinge, and reinforced chassis add significant expense on top of already premium components. Because of these higher costs, Apple is expected to position the iPhone Ultra as a completely new premium tier above the Pro Max. While final pricing isn't locked yet and could still shift, estimates suggest the iPhone Ultra could reach prices around $2,500 in the US, depending on configuration and storage. For context, the current top-end iPhone 17 Pro Max with 2 TB of storage already sells for $1,999. Pushing the Ultra up to $2,500 would create a noticeable new price tier, similar to what Apple did with the Apple Watch Ultra. Just as the Apple Watch Ultra became a more expensive, more rugged alternative to the regular Apple Watch, the iPhone Ultra is being shaped as the ultimate iPhone, the best hardware Apple can deliver, aimed at users who prioritize features and innovation over price, But the Ultra isn't the only model getting more expensive. Apple is also widely expected to raise prices for the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max compared to the current generation. Several factors are driving this increase. Memory and flash storage costs have gone up, and next-generation chips, likely the new 2nm A20 processor, are more expensive to design and manufacture. On top of that, Apple just raised prices across its Mac and iPad lineups by roughly $100 to $500, depending on the model. One notable detail: iPhone prices did not go up with those recent Mac and iPad adjustments. Many analysts believe that's because Apple is holding the iPhone price hike for its big September announcement, rather than quietly adjusting existing models mid-cycle. Supply chain estimates suggest that the starting prices of the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max will be at least $100 higher than today's equivalents. Apple could, in theory, absorb more of these costs and keep prices lower, but there are signs that the company has already done as much as it's willing to do on that front. The recent price changes to Macs and iPads indicate that Apple is now ready, or forced, to pass more of the increased component costs directly to buyers. As if that wasn't enough change, Apple is also planning a major shift in the timing of its more affordable iPhones. Historically, Apple has announced the entire main iPhone lineup at the same September event, including both Pro and non-Pro models. This time, that pattern is breaking. While the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone Ultra will be announced in September 2026, the lower-cost models in the iPhone 18 family won't arrive until early 2027. That includes the standard iPhone 18, the second-generation iPhone Air, often called iPhone Air 2, and the iPhone 18e, which is expected to target the more budget-conscious end of the market. These three devices are still in the final stages of design and engineering. They haven't entered production testing yet, which is one reason for the delay, but there's also a clear strategic benefit for Apple in staggering the launch this way. By releasing only the iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and announcing the iPhone Ultra in late 2026, Apple ensures that the newest and most visible iPhones during the holiday shopping season are also the most expensive. Anyone who wants the latest iPhone for the holidays will be nudged toward the Pro line or the Ultra, raising Apple's average selling price per iPhone. Then, in early 2027, likely around April, Apple can launch the iPhone 18, iPhone Air 2, and iPhone 18e as the more accessible options for buyers who waited or didn't want to stretch their budget for a Pro or Ultra model. It's still unclear whether these lower-priced models will see their own price increases. But given higher memory and component costs, at least modest hikes on some configurations wouldn't be surprising. All of this is happening alongside a quieter but equally important change. iOS is being prepared for a foldable future. The iOS 27 beta already contains multiple signs that Apple is adapting its software for foldable iPhones. There are new system behaviors that respond to different hinge angles and screen states, allowing the interface to adapt as the device opens, closes, or sits partially folded. There are signs of new multitasking capabilities and layout changes specifically tuned for a larger, tablet-like internal display. These code references strongly suggest that Apple has been planning for a foldable iPhone for some time, and iOS 27 is the first version that truly exposes that groundwork. When the iPhone Ultra launches, it won't just be a hardware experiment. The software will be ready with features tailored to the foldable form factor, from split-screen multitasking to flexible UI layouts.